morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily Weekend.
Thank you.
It's been a long break, to be fair.
I miss you.
We miss you too a lot.
Too.
Are you sure?
100%.
Are you sure?
100%.
I'm back.
How
It's been
are
about
you? How has it been?
Yeah, long break.
It's been what? Like a month?
I think so. Kind of.
You
Yeah.
That's
can't,
long
you can't
enough.
be leaving
You
us
can't
for
be
a month.
abandoning us.
Abandoning us.
I'm back.
Anyway.
I'm back, please.
welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing. Have a seat,
Selorm, the Dreamaker, is an interior designer and project manager and founder of Ascento Projects. And today we're talking personal style, identifying your interior design aesthetic. Well, what at all does that mean?
Okay, so we're going to break it down.
Okay.
Yes, for people like you who don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can see I have a lot of.
I'm wondering what's going on with all of that.
Yes, so
some candle lights, can it be, I try to set the mood.
yes, I'm setting the mood.
Wow.
I'm setting the mood. So okay, so back to the topic, right? Now, getting to know and understand your design aesthetic, or in simple terms, what we call your interior design style, right? As an individual, most of the time, sometimes you want to even design yourself, or even when you are seeking the help of a professional, right? One of the key things you really need to know and understand is your style.
Yeah.
What kind of decor, what kind of design, what kind of aesthetics am I drawn to? Do you get it? I can assure you that, you see, I can give you about 10 pictures of all living areas, living rooms or bedrooms, and they would all look different. Do you get it?
Yeah.
What makes them different? Most of the time, the pieces that are brought together. So, for instance, from the furniture, the accessories, the color scheme, I mean, they come together to give you that look. And then in this particular other picture, this also looks totally different, although it's still a bedroom.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So you should be able to know, what am I drawn to? What are some of the things that makes a bedroom or a space look nice to me?
Okay.
Now, we in design terms, or in my profession, most of the time we categorize them into two major groups, right? I'm sure you've heard the term minimalism before, right? There are those people we call minimalists.
Right.
And then there are those who are mostly called maximalists.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
And at these two phenomenons, we have a lot of design styles. In fact, there are plenty. We can't discuss all of them today, yes. There are a lot of them, from Scandinavian to traditional to Bohemian. I'm sure you've heard some of the names before.
Yeah.
Contemporary, farmhouse, yeah. I mean, all these names either fall here or here.
Okay.
It's either a maximalist style or a minimalist style. Do you know, are you a minimalist or a maximalist?
I think I'm somewhere in between.
Hey.
Because I once worked for a mining company
Okay.
for my students' work experience when I was at the university.
Yeah.
And I met a minimalist in the strictest. There's somebody who works as a mine,
Okay.
For a mining company.
Yeah.
He was being paid at the time in US dollars, right? The car he drove, there was no space for a third person. And I'm not even joking. He had this 2-door car where it's literally the driver and one passenger. So I'm not sure I'm a minimalist.
Really?
Based on my understanding of it in the
Okay.
strictest sense.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm bougie enough to also,
Be a maximalist.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think minimalism is nice.
It's nice.
It's like there are things there, but they're not overcrowding your space.
No, but you're not a minimalist too.
Oh.
How am I not a minimalist?
No,
Why
no,
do you, okay,
no.
do you have evidence? Why do you say that?
Why
I'm not a minimalist.
Why do you say
I
that?
work with her.
Why do you say that?
Why do you say that?
Because you love the life. You know what I'm talking
Ah,
about?
only because I love that doesn't make me a minimalist.
I'm not a minimalist.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I know it's
so-
probably like me, somewhere
are
in
you
between.
Sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Oh, I know you're a
let's,
minimalist.
I'm a minimalist.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
let's do a quick exercise here.
I
to
don't
see,
think so.
To see. Let's do a quick exercise here.
Okay.
Now, in the decor space,
Yeah.
right? Now, these two items I have here, right? These two are both fabric holders,
Yeah.
Okay.
When I say fabric holders, they are used to either hold napkins or even
Curtains.
curtains.
I think you've shown us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, they actually perform the same function. However, one person prefers this, another person would look for this. Where do you fall?
So I like both. And I think it depends on which or what kind of dinner you are. But honestly, I'd go for this.
You go
I
for
like
this.
the shells.
That's not
Okay.
obviously the same.
Okay. Okay. Another test. Another test. So this is a candle. This is a candle. On the other hand, this is also a candle holder. Right? They also both perform the same function. I mean, to either light or decorate the space.
You don't need 4.
Please. For decor purposes, one person will prefer this, another person will go for this.
But it depends on where. So if you're having a candlelit dinner, perfect. But if this is just to, you know, decorate a mantle or something, then this.
You'll go for this.
Yes.
On,
If it's just to
on a
decorate
regular day.
On a regular day, this.
But if
If it's a dinner, candlelit, or, you know, you're going something, that.
how about you?
You go for this. Like you don't need 4. To like, you might as well get the light bulb. You know.
No, I mean, yes. On a normal day, probably you are not actually looking for the light. It's not really necessarily brightening the space for you, but it is giving you some form
But it's
of...
a candle, by the way.
Yes, that's a candle.
Ah,
Why?
it looks plastic.
It's not. I mean, so you see, this is purely just a container with candle wax in it and then fragrance. You just lit it. This actually has some extra added to it.
Right.
Making it look more, do I say, extravagant to those people who like to have that kind of, right? This is where we draw the line between a maximalist and then a minimalist. Do you get it? First, someone says, oh, this is too very simple for me. I prefer this. Another person prefers the extras added to it, although they're serving the same purpose.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So most of the time, these are where you draw the line. Are you a minimalist? Are you a maximalist? Same as the fabrics, you see. These are both pillows, throw pillows.
Your personal style too.
Exactly.
You know,
somebody prefers
style
extra
interior.
patterns. Yeah. This is very minimal for yes, almost. It's not plain. There are patterns in it.
You will.
Do
I
you
mean, in
get it?
comparison.
Exactly. It's not entirely plain. There are patterns in it. It's just that they are not so loud as compared to this.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So this is where you want to determine some of these are some of the ways you determine what exactly are some of the things you are drawn to as an individual. And the minimalism, most of the time, you have styles like contemporary, Scandinavian, Japanese Zen, kind of a number of them. And then under the maximalist styles, those who want to have excess of everything, excess of patterns, excess of textures. I mean, everything must present in. Then we're looking at bohemian, right? Bohemian, traditional, industrial. Those are the people who like bold colors, a lot of bold colors, a lot of patterns, heavy patterns. The bohemian, for instance, is one of the most popular for people who like, you know, there are some kind of people who are very, very carefree. They like to have everything should represent in my home.
Yeah.
Yes, everything should represent in my home. For them, that is what brings them joy. That is what makes them enjoy the space they live in. So usually, you might, if you are not that kind of person, you might see it as excessive, right? So this is a typical example of a contemporary home. A contemporary home is a very one of the minimalist styles, right? You can see contemporary is purely neutral colors, no bold colors, slim furniture, slim edges, slim edges. The furniture are quite very simple. Yeah. No excesses, right? And then we have styles like this, which are mostly what we call the French country, urban French.
All right.
Those of you who like Victorian furniture.
I don't like Victorian. They look weird.
They look well, really.
They just, I don't know.
And then this is a mid-century.
Okay.
For those of you who like a lot of nature infused from wood, so much wood tones. Right. I can see you're nodding.
Because I like it. I
But
like
to be
the
fair,
wood tones.
they all look nice.
Hey.
You're all looking nice. I mean, if I walk into a home and it's any of these, of course, this gives me my grandfather clock was too large for the show. It gives me grandfather vibes, right?
It's not for you.
Exactly.
The one before gives a lot of comfy vibes. So if I could afford it, I'll have a space like all of that somewhere in my house. For which mood? This is like very relaxed mood.
How do you identify what you like so that you can incorporate it in your space?
Yes.
So the confusion that Jude and I are facing right now, like how do you
this gives like
identify?
monarch vibes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why it's
because back then in those, Victorian furniture is actually from the late, Victoria. Queen Victoria. Yes, she came up, she actually ordered a furniture designer to design this particular shape of furniture for her. Do you get it? So then back then it was only, like you said, monarchs, rich people and monarchs who could afford it.
The aristocrats.
Yes.
Yes. The bourgeoisie.
Who could afford it. Now these days, it's all over the place. The Chinese people are now reproducing and overproducing them, so everybody could afford now. So you see, like you were just saying, one of the design styles to him looked more like grandfather, something. Yeah. Because some of them mostly, there are some of the designs that resonate more with certain category of people. Okay. Yes, certain category of people. Either, you see, maybe people within this particular age bracket seem to like this style a lot more because maybe back then when they were kids, that was the style in vogue. Okay. Do you get it? Yeah. Contemporary is most of the time what is trending now. What's happening now, usually not time bound. But then again, for people who like extreme minimalism, not too much color, not too much clutter, I want my space. I want to have a lot of space. Nothing too extra. Do you get it? However, on the other hand, so you ask yourself some of these questions. First, you can start with, am I a minimalist or a maximalist? At least that would help you. That will help you make the first step. Because you see, one thing I keep telling my students, for those of you who want to learn, never go out to the market and start buying things randomly. That's the first thing you should avoid. Right. So before you start making any shopping list, before you start going out to buy furniture, whatever, have at the back of your mind, what style am I looking for? Or what style am I looking to achieve in this my bedroom? Then with that, you can know that I'm looking for sofa that looks like this. I'm looking for TV unit that looks like this. I'm looking for this particular color schemes. Do you get it? So you go with actually required lists to the market. If it doesn't fit, you move on. You keep searching and searching until you get exactly what. Sometimes you can actually mix them. Okay. You can, maybe when we finish, I'll put out the link for, just Google and search for interior design style quiz. Most of the time when you take the quiz, it helps you know specifically which styles are you drawn to. Okay. And as an individual, you know that, you realize that you are usually drawn to at least about 2 to 3 different styles. Anytime you try, wherever you try, you keep realizing that these 3 styles actually are the same results you keep getting. Okay. Which means you're a mixture of
those things.
Yes, which means you're a mixture of. So sometimes when you are designing or decorating your space, you don't necessarily have to, force yourself. By force, everything should look this particular way. Sometimes you can infuse certain aspect of, maybe you like a little bit of traditional decor. Maybe their type of sofa is something you like so much. But then also you want the space to look very contemporary. Do you get it? So you can do contemporary and then maybe you bring in a traditional sofa at least to integrate and maybe give you that kind of balance you are looking for. So you can actually mix some of them. You can sometimes too, like he was saying, every room should look different. I want every room should have a different character.
Yeah, because
if only you can.
Each space for the kind of mood I'm in.
Okay. Rich people's thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm working at it.
Okay. Okay, but mind you, some of the styles are really expensive.
I can imagine.
Some of them are really expensive. From the furniture, the type of furniture.
This looks expensive.
This also can actually look very, you can easily get a lot of the pieces, mostly anything that has a lot of pure wood in it, you should be ready to spend more. Yes, you should be ready to spend more. Anyway, so back to, yes. Now, can you identify whether you're a minimalist or you like bold colors in your space?
I don't like bold colors.
Really? So you prefer more of something like this?
Sage, browns, like neutral colors look nice to me, at least in a house.
With a pop of color?
The pop of color can be like the vase.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so this serves more like an accent color.
Yes.
In the mix of
all that neutral tones. Yeah.
I'm convinced I'm a minimalist, Neil.
Are you sure?
But if you have a house like this and you have kids or dogs or pets.
So, I mean, you know yourself.
Hey.
You know yourself. But, I mean, sometimes there are ways you can protect yourself against some of these things.
So you can improve your house.
Exactly.
But you can't
from the type of fabrics.
A toddler with crayon, you know. That's you have to be extra careful. That's all there is really.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
are there certain things that you can use, like the crayon? So should it be paint that can be, you can wash it off?
These days, because of technology, you have paints that can easily be cleaned. You have, furniture upholstery that can easily be cleaned or water resistant or whatever. I mean, you just have to make very careful selection. The floors, for instance, most of the time, yes, if for kids, glossy tiles in the picture here might not be ideal, but then again, they are the easiest to clean as well.
I assume wood would be very expensive.
Yes, they are the easiest to maintain, and they'll probably most of the time sometimes expensive than the matte ones. So that's why you need to plan. You need to know where you fall, know who you are, what are your needs. You see, when it comes to designing to fit your lifestyle, those are some of the things you consider. What is it that will make me run home back to my bedroom? What is it that will make me enjoy the space I have bought, the space I have designed?
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What's that? Yes.
Okay. So again, this is a tray.
Okay.
This is a decorative tray.
Okay.
This is also a decorative tray.
Okay. I like that one.
Which one would you go for?
But if the two of them look very maximalistic. The tray in my house.
Really?
The tray in my house is very flat. It's nothing like this.
That one.
You prefer this?
This one.
You prefer this one?
I prefer that.
Why?
One. I think I like the designs on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the designs on it.
Than this?
Yeah, that's a bit too much.
Really?
Like I'm trying to figure out where will I put this?
Is there a mirror inside?
Yes. So this is a tray that can be used to decorate a table, just like we have here, a coffee table, right? Mostly trays are used to organize small pieces, so you don't have things scattering. So you have a remote control TV, your phone, keys. You just use the tray to organize
so it's not like food tray.
No. It could be for food, it could be so it's just decorative, mostly to organize stuff on the table.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So this could serve the same purpose. This also
this is giving medieval times vibes.
Kind of.
It's probably like it's probably like the book, Jesus used to feed 5,000 but
oh my goodness. I doubt it looked like that.
Were you there?
I read it in my Bible. Anyway, I like the fact that you're able to throw light on these things so people are able to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
Of course, for some people, they're like, it's very expensive, embarking on some of these things, right? And for the ordinary Ghanaian, they struggle to see where they have to use, for example, a candle like this. So what I want you to talk to us about is, why is it even important, right? For, let's say, somebody starting life, right? Why should we be minded about whether I have this particular kind of candle in my house or that particular candle, right? I want you to talk to us on whether there is some added benefit aside the fact that, aside for just its aesthetics purposes. you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I think that brings us back to the idea of, are you a minimalist or are you a maximalist? Right. Why am I saying this? Because in minimalist decor, all the minimalist styles like contemporary, Scandinavian, Japanese Zen, which is mostly the extremists of minimalism, right? For them, somebody will say, this room is too empty, it looks too empty for me. These are the styles that believe that, I mean, if you've heard the cliche, less is more. Yes, that is where that whole idea comes from. For them, again, they believe that the whole room should be made of essentials only. Nothing unnecessary.
Yeah. I was asking that because for some people, they say they use all of these, whatever they decide on is based on their mood, is based on their, see, some people go and say self-preservation. I don't know where all of a sudden, why it's become a very popular term, right? But my question really is that, why is it important?
So to somebody, it is important. Like, so that's why I'm drawing back to that. You see, there are some of the spaces that believe that, I mean, if it's not so an essential item, I don't need it in my space. Do you get it? And then there are the others who believe that, I mean, this particular candle has fragrance. Do you get it? They are probably not really lighting the space, but then the fact that they add some fragrance to the space, do you get it? It adds something to the table. So the table doesn't look empty. There are people who doesn't like the fact that spaces are empty. They want to put something everywhere.
So for a lot more people, it's more aesthetics than functionality.
Most of the time. And then
when it comes to these particular choices.
This and this, I mean, based on these two.
It's aesthetics, purely. Because if you need candle light, it's not, if you need light, it's not candle that you use. But in
it's not romantic. You're not getting the bigger picture.
You see,
of
someone sitting elsewhere also feels that, I mean, this looks very romantic for the space.
Exactly. You can pop it out when you have dinner with whomever.
At the end of the day, they are all candles. Do you get it?
But then the dollar is blue or what? Prices are not coming out. So if I'm to spend on this, there should be some added
benefits.
Yeah.
That's why some of the candles are actually without fragrance. They're just wax candles, and then there are those that come with extra
fragrance to lighten up the mood.
The space, exactly.
Amazing.
Other than that, they're just decorative pieces. Yes, other than that, they are decorated. So you ask yourself, do I need all these extra, excesses in my space, or I just want everywhere to look decluttered? Or I need them here. Those are the kind of things that really light my mood.
Amazing.
Interesting.
All right, so I guess it doesn't come cheap. Are you able to talk to us about, pricing around the use of, can I call them auxiliary design pieces?
Because I think really auxiliary, because chairs are also included.
Exactly.
Furniture, carpets, furniture.
But like that base, the base is auxiliary. The candle is auxiliary.
Yeah, but if I don't think auxiliary is the right term you're looking for, because if furniture, lighting, and other stuff are included in, it's a one package.
No, but auxiliary surface, maybe forgive me, I'm not using the right term. But the point is that you can go in for a normal chair, but you choose a particular type of chair.
Yes.
So then it becomes auxiliary. But my point is that, is there, and maybe this is my final question, is there, I don't know. Because everyone is quick to downplay.
No,
go ahead.
Ask it.
Go ahead.
I'm interested in what you want to ask.
Exactly.
My point is that, should there not be like a way you are able to like do what's important first and then later care for all of these things, if so be it, right? That you have them. Because I feel like, especially for young people, and I'm saying this because of the fact that a lot of people watching the show too,
are now starting life, or
maybe, or they've already planned their spaces already.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So to now make changes will require some kind of effort.
Yeah.
So should we not then say that, it's not really, right? And it is something you should do when you really have the means, other than say, go all out. If you want to start your space, make sure you incorporate all of these things now.
Okay. So first of all, I would say that for these decorative pieces you're seeing here, right? A lot of them, maybe I would say yes, not all of them are so necessary. I mean, for a young people starting life. But then again,
That is all I wanted you to say.
knowing your
But,
but then again,
Hold on.
the style. Do you get it? The
Yeah.
style is not necessarily about just
This,
this,
I feel
right?
you.
The furniture is included.
I feel
If you
you.
look at the pictures that have been displayed on the screen, you will see that all the styles. Let's look at the chairs in them.
Even the distance between the seats and the TV.
Exactly.
So it's the whole space, really.
Exactly. The chairs, let's look at the chairs in them. They look different.
Yeah.
The chair you're seeing here looks different from the other.
Yeah.
So you can see these two pictures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all the same.
But it's expensive, right?
Not everything.
No, like putting it all together.
Well, I've said this, and this is going to be another time. You see, the creating is not a cheap venture. Let me put it that way. It's more like a luxury.
I appreciate
Yes.
it. I appreciate it.
When I was growing up, my mother never hired an interior designer, but we lived in the house.
It's not a do or die. It's not a do or die. That's the point I wanted to really
But
communicate.
these days you see, people want to feel at home.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
They want to make the house a home.
Yes, let's look at the
So
stress
invest
you're going
in
through
their
an entire
spaces.
day. You want to be able to close from work and then be in a rush to just jump into my bed because the room is very.
Yeah.
Do you get it? I don't want to go back to a home where I'm tired, but the room itself is giving me extra stress.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
That is where this whole idea of designing, careful planning and designing and
I
decorating
like
comes
that.
in.
Careful planning.
You
Yeah.
get it, comes in. You don't want actually, yes, I can just go about and start buying beds and things that I need, I think I need. Do you get it? But at the end of the day, are they serving my
The
lifestyle?
purpose. So
Are they my
functionality.
preferences?
Then aesthetics, then ergonomics. But only because some people they throw all at it. Sometimes they go in for a chair when they are, so for example their choice of chair is probably on ergonomic
Yes.
for ergonomic reasons,
Yeah.
right? Then their choice of table is probably aesthetics. Then their TV's functionality. So like it's throwing everything,
Everything is thrown in there.
and that's why people like you come into the
Exactly.
picture, right?
Careful planning.
That's why I
bring all
mentioned
into
earlier, you see,
alignment.
when you want to achieve that kind of